Thanks for staying with us tonight. Bill O'Reilly prides himself looking out for the folks. When Republicans went after middle class, O'Reilly thought it was only fair for some to sacrifice. Here's what he had to say about Wisconsin public workers back in February.
The solution in bankrupt states is for workers to agree to some kind of give back, perhaps over a few years. That way they can look for other jobs in the private sector if they don't believe they are being compensated fairly in the public arena. I think that would be fair.
Sure, the country's in rough shape, so teachers, cops, and firefighters should just give it up. Give back their health benefits, their bargaining rights, and their pay. But then, just last week, when O'Reilly's own salary was at stake, he wasn't as enthusiastic about giving back.
But if you tax achievement, some of the achievers are going to pack it in. If Barack Obama begins taxing me more than 50%, which is very possible, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. I like my job, but there comes a point when taxation becomes oppressive.
He's talking about the so-called Buffett rule, part of the President Obama's proposal that would increase the top tax rate to Clinton-era levels, not 50%, as O'Reilly claims. The Buffett rule would raise taxes on investments to the same level as wages, which, by the way, is a proposal that the overwhelming majority of Americans, the folks, are for. So today on The View, O'Reilly had a different spin on the matter.
I'm telling you, the country's in trouble. We owe $14.5 trillion we can't pay back. Our power's on the decline everywhere. The next president has to get in and demand of all of us sacrifice. We're all going to have to make sacrifices.
The next president? Why do we have to wait 14 months? Time to call in Heidi Harris of the Heidi Harris radio show in Las Vegas, and Bill Press, host of the nationally syndicated Bill Press Show. Great to have both of you with us tonight. Heidi, turning to President Obama, he's out there defending workers, the middle classers. Here he is earlier this week.
You know what? If asking a billionaire to pay the same tax rate as a plumber makes me a warrior for the middle class, I'll wear that charge. I'll wear that as a badge of honor.
Where does this leave Republicans, Heidi?
Well, that's ridiculous, though, because a lot of that they're talking about the investment money that they make and things like that. A plumber's paying less money percentage-wise on his income than a billionaire is on his income. It's apples and oranges. It's not exactly the same thing. And ultimately, like I've said before to you, if I tax you more money, it's not going to help the budget deficit. You can tax all these people to death if you want to, and you and I both know it's going to go into that big fat pot of the Treasury, and it's going to disappear, and it's not going to pay off our debt, and then we're going to stick it to the golden goose who's going to give me a job or give me a raise. That doesn't solve our problems.
Bill Press, have at it.
Well, first of all, look, you know, Bill O'Reilly said the next president's got to talk about shared sacrifice. This president has been talking about shared sacrifice for the last 3 years, and Republicans are rejecting it. You know, and the other thing is, I got to tell you, Ed, the best argument that I've heard so far for getting rid of those Bush tax cuts is Bill O'Reilly promising that if we do, he'll pack it in. I mean, that's
Bill, he's done a
that's
flip-flop.
That's a win-win for me.
Bill, hasn't he done a flip-flop? I mean, the guy that says he does the no-spin zone, he's flipping around. And why do we have to wait 14 months?
No, totally. It's a huge flip-flop. And you know why? Because he thinks that we're too dumb to know what he says at night and what he says on The View. He doesn't think we're going to connect the two, number one. Number two, we went on The View today. He was trying to be nice because the last time he was on The View, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar walked out on him. So, you know, yeah, look, it's crazy, Ed. We're not talking about 50%. We're talking about fair share. Bill O'Reilly should pay the same rate on his taxes as the person that he buys his falafels from pays on her taxes.
Heidi, what do you think of shared sacrifice? What do you make of O'Reilly's flip like that?
I don't know what it means. I don't know what shared sacrifice means. I don't know what fair share means. Every time when I talk about it on my radio show, I ask people, give me a number, Bill Press. Give me a number. Give me a percentage where Ed Schultz should pay more than I should, right? Because he makes more money than I do. So give me a number. Let me put it
this way. I'll give you something, Heidi. Here's a number, right? Pay careful attention. 2009. 238,000 families had income of over $1 million. 25% of them paid less than 5%. Oh, Bill O'Reilly's driver, his barber, the guy cuts his grass, again, the person he buys his falafels from, they pay more than 15%. So whatever it is, let's have a fair rate and everybody share in that sacrifice. That's all we're asking.
I agree.
That's
10%
fair.
across the board for everybody. But look at the people. We have almost
10%.
half this country who doesn't pay taxes at all, income taxes, because they get the earned income tax credit. How is that fair to me? And I don't want to hear, they don't make that much money, they can't afford to pay. They're not paying their fair share of squat. And I'm picking up the balance, and I can't afford that.
But the people at the bottom are not the ones with the money, Heidi. It's the people at the top.
Doesn't matter. They're not paying their fair share.
No, it does matter. It does matter because a lot of that is capital gains money. They don't sweat. They don't work a day in their life, and they're getting all this money because from stock income, and they're taxed at 15%. That is obscene.
Heidi, let me give you a number. Heidi, let me give you a number that works. It's proven to work. It took the country into surpluses before we went into war, and that was 39.5%. Why wouldn't you be willing to go back to 39.5%, the old Clinton rates, when we had economic success for the good of the country? It would hit only less than 2% of the American people. I mean, 98% of the American people wouldn't be touched by this. I mean, why is it that the Republican Party and you conservative talkers constantly think that it's terribly unfair to go to 39.5%?
It's terribly unfair for me, for people to get the earned income tax credit and pay no income taxes.
That's not the question.
I don't care how much money they make. Everybody should pay.
You asked for a rate, I gave you a rate. You asked for a rate, I gave you a rate. Why can't you live with it?
I will go with a rate that everybody pays. 10%, 12%, 15%, whatever. 39%, then everybody's paying it, even the low-income people.
Hey,
There's no reason they should get a free pass.
Heidi, read the Bible. It's the parable of the talents. The more God gives you, the more you should be willing to give back, Heidi. It's in the Bible.
Heidi Harris, Bill Press, great to have both of you with us here tonight. Thanks so much. Good discussion. Coming up, Herman Cain says African-American voters are brainwashed into voting for Democrats. He's going in the zone. Bridges all over the United States are in danger of falling apart. Republicans say raising taxes won't help repair them or get people back to work. Nearly 3 dozen economists, well, they disagree. That's coming up.